It's a physical game.
Oh, me, oh, my! A monster jam by Blake Griffin.
What if I told you arguably the best player in college basketball right now is an undersized, deep three, light-skinned, baby-faced assassin? You'd probably think Steph Curry somehow cloned his younger self to play in college again. But that's not the deal at all. This killer is known as Trae Young, the face of his home state, Oklahoma, and the biggest Sooner to grace the hardwood since Blake Griffin. What's up, everybody? It's your boy 2.1, and today we're discussing the home state hero. Trae is a point guard listed at 6'2" and 180 pounds. Coming into this season, not many people were hyped on Trae, even though he was a 5-star recruit. Most of the attention was set on Duke's Trayvon Duval, UCLA's Jalen Hands, and Alabama's young bull, Colin Sexton. Although he was a 5-star recruit, these players were ranked ahead, and his decision to stay home in Norman, Oklahoma to be a Sooner only resonated among the state, while the rest of America paid more attention to the other top guards. Trae was fresh off of a EYBL championship for MoKan Elite with Michael Porter Jr., who was another lottery pick in this upcoming draft. So his choice to stay home, as well as tasting a Nike National Championship, only fueled his fire more. He had doubters to prove who talked about his size and defense, and he's proving to everyone that not only is he the best freshman in the country, but perhaps one of the best to ever play college basketball. And I can see your faces now. You're saying, come on, 2 Point, he can't be that good. And you're right. He's not good. He's great. Young is averaging 29.2 points on 39% from 3 and 10.1 assists to go with 3.8 rebounds and 2 steals, all highlighted by a 26-point, 22 assist game in 29 minutes, which tied an NCAA record for assists. Those are pretty significant numbers, and of course people will still say his play won't translate to the NBA, all because they feel his stats look a little bit inflated. But let me open your eyes to the bigger picture. The Sooners had a record of 11-20 last season, and with no other significant recruits who came aboard, they currently stand at 13-2 with 15 games left before the Big 12 tournament. But why such a drastic improvement, you might ask? The answer is Trae Young. Without him, the Sooners would probably be more like 3-12. He single-handedly accounts for 53.1% of their points when you factor in his points and assists. His 29.2 points is number 1 in the NCAA right now, and if the season were to stop today, he'd be the second freshman to ever lead the nation. He also leads the nation in assists at 10.1 per game. If he were to continue down this path with assists, by season's end, he'd be the third freshman to ever hold the crown, first being TJ Ford and second Lonzo Ball. He'd also be tied for the third highest season average in history behind Avery Johnson, who did it twice. That's elite company, and personally, I don't see him as a generational passing talent, but he gets the ball where it needs to be, and you gotta give credit where credit's due. His biggest asset is his scoring IQ, which should transfer well in the NBA. He's extremely confident in his shot, no matter the distance, and his coach is also just as confident, otherwise he wouldn't allow him to do so. He has the green light and will shoot from like 30 feet plus, and do it consistently. But what I think is the primary reason for this is his shooting mechanics. He shoots the ball the same way every time and doesn't jump very high. He just has a little hop instead, which correlates to less movement. The more movement, the more variables you'll have when you take a shot. It also saves your legs in later moments of games because you're not requiring your whole body to put up a shot. This has made Steph Curry so successful by eliminating unneeded variables to allow for a more fluid stroke. And this is what Trae Young is doing to dominate the college landscape. Still don't believe? Players have been mesmerized by his game. Steph quite simply said, he's unbelievable. Few words, with significant impact. Others like D. Wade, Tatum, Kuzma, and many others have also chimed in about how good Trae Young is. Just look at his season compared to Steph's junior season when he was sweeping the nation by storm. Steph was a great college player with a high IQ, and we see that today on the Warriors. But as a freshman, Trae's stats are just a little better, and I see a lot of room for a growth. He hasn't even reached the pinnacle of his game. But where they do differ is scoring inside. Although Trae is scoring on 51.5% on 2-point field goals, I feel he needs to do a better job of absorbing contact. He has a tendency to bounce off defenders and not finish completely at the rim. And in today's NBA, he'll be going against an elite guard almost every night. So if young college guards can muscle you, I can only imagine what these grown men will do. Once he does put some weight on though, he'll be an elite finisher. He has a knack for putting up an assortment of layups, so that combined with his shooting is a recipe for disaster. I also hope that he will improve on defense. It'll be hard in the NBA with so many guards being able to score. You can only score so much, but if you're having an off night, that's when you especially need to lock down on defense. He doesn't need to be Patrick Beverley, but at least be able to hold the majority of other guards under their season average. Whatever team looks to pick Trae Young will possibly have a cornerstone piece for years to come. Trae is a man on a mission, and I can't wait to witness his greatness. And who knows, we might all start yelling Trae range when pulling up from deep. Something tells me he will be every night. If you've liked what you've seen, like and subscribe for future content, and comment any video ideas that you might want to see. Stay wavy, my friends. 2 Point out.